Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk with Anna. Yes, as you guys see, there's been a little change to the name from Lunchtime with Anna to Let's Talk with Anna. We're still doing the same concept, still opening up the special needs restaurant, which is still going to be named Lunchtime with Anna. And so we can have our special needs working there and actually getting employment. And you guys know that I hold this so close and dear to my heart because of my special needs son, Nathaniel. Shout out to Nathaniel. I know y'all love that boy. So I have a very special guest here, Mr. Mark Lanoue. Mark, it is so nice to finally get to meet you.
You as
I've
well.
read and heard a lot of awesome things about you.
I'm glad to hear what they were awesome. So,
And we're going to be talking about a lot of them, or some of them, because your resume is pretty extensive from what I saw. So, could you please break down for the listening audience here and abroad the behind the name Kick the Wicked and who came up with that with your band?
yeah, so it actually, so I have to go back to where it started, which was we were a tribute group that we started in 2020 during the lockdowns.
Okay.
Since everybody was kind of locked in their little rooms, we wanted to be able to bring them music that they enjoyed and be able to do something ourselves together. So I got together with my drummer from Fiction Six, which is my earlier band, and then he introduced me to Scott Campbell, who's out of Orlando.
Okay.
And Scott and I we started doing tributes, and ultimately, after a couple of years, we realized that there was some chemistry there, and they're just excellent musicians. So we decided to start doing originals. So there, where we started looking at how to put the name together. So we were like texting stuff back and forth, back and forth. So I was texting with Scott, and I said, "Kick the something." I don't remember what it was, but so Scott just comes back and goes, "Kick the Wicked," and I went, "That's it.
I
That's
like
it. That's the name." So it was kind of a collaboration between myself and Scott, and it just kind of dropped out on a text message, and "Kick the Wicked" was born. So
I like it. I like it. I like it. So, as you mentioned, you guys started off doing renditions of classics. What is it that made you say, okay, we actually got something here besides what you just said to me? You got to give me something else.
sure, no, I can give you something else. So what it really came down to is we have like 50 tributes now at this point, and we're a group that loves all kinds of stuff. So we've done everything from the Bee Gees to Megadeth to you name it, it's on there. White Zombie, if you want to listen to something, and David Bowie, it's on there. So we just decided that the playing was there, great musicianship, the chemistry was there. We got along really well, and we thought that we could kind of connect all of that together. So we started writing originals,
Mhm.
and we came up with our first EP, which was called Drag Magnet. It came out in August of 2022. It's 5 songs. And it doesn't fit a specific genre. We like moving around, just like we did with the tributes. So we would go from something really heavy, like Metallica heavy, and then we would go to something more funky, and then something a little bit more classic. We were kind of moving around a bit, something a little bit more popish. So that's how we've kind of run it since then. So it's really turned out great. Scott is a fantastic engineer and producer as well, and he plays all kinds of instruments. I play guitar and sing and I write, but Scott plays guitar, bass, some keyboards. He does all the production. He even sings some. He sang on a couple of tributes with me, so lots of fun.
And so I love it when I interview somebody who's so selfless, right? Like you give shout outs to the whole everybody or your partners or whatever. And I really like that because sometimes you'll get people who forget it's all me, 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 me. And I see you're not that person, Mark. And that's really freaking awesome. It really is. And I appreciate that. I saw that and I noticed that right off the bat. So my next question to you is, what are your top three renditions or tributes that you and or the group have done, and what is it about those three that really stand out for you that you're like, okay, yeah, these are them.
So they've kind of moved around over time, right? Because as you make another one, you kind of put it into the mix. But my favorite up to this point has probably been Paradise by the Dashboard Light. Not because it's the one that I thought was my best vocal or whatever. It's just because it was a monumental task, and there were multiple featured artists on there. Like we had Sharon Leah, who has her own foundation, Ladies Who Rock for a Cause, and she sings for a band called the Sharon Leah Band,
Mhm.
but she did all the vocals, the female vocals on it. And my bass player from Fiction Six did the bass on it. He's been with Montrose and King Cobra and other groups, so he's a very well established bass player. And then we even had somebody who was in the world of radio. That we had a guy from Pennsylvania called Brian Fishman Fish who did that iconic sports part in it. But what was great about it is it just between Scott's production, his playing, everybody's part in this. The drumming was just straight on from 8 minutes and 30 seconds from beginning to end. It was a monumental task, but it turned out fantastic. And
Mhm.
so I like it because there were so many people involved. That's probably my favorite one. My next two favorites are probably Zebra. We did one. They're not as well known of a group as a lot of the others we've done, but it just turned out really great. We even had Zebra that chimed in and said, "Man, this is freaking phenomenal." So it was kind of nice to get the original group that did the song to actually chime in. So that's why it's kind of on the list of favorites. And the third is probably White Rabbit, because it was something that we were called upon to do for a movie, and it just turned out great. It was totally different than when anybody else covered it and the way they did it. So those are probably my three favorites out of them. But there's so many of them that I love, and they're for different reasons. And so we have some featured artists that really did fantastic work as well.
So let me ask you, when you guys started doing these renditions and tributes uh, during the pandemic, COVID, did you guys start online, or you guys like, I feel like doing a live show? And how was that?
No, it
I
was all, yeah,
because it was so traumatizing for many of us, right? Like
yeah,
we
yeah,
at
yeah.
home, you had time to sit down and think. And for us creative people, I mean, I wrote two books. I, I did all kinds of stuff. I took advantage because I was like, I didn't realize I do so much. But for you, how was it? And I could see
Well,
Tab. So
yeah, it was all digital. And I'm kind of used to that because so over the decades, the industry's changed quite a bit. Back in the day, we were all in the basement together and banging along, writing songs, and going into big studios that had walls that were a foot thick, and touring all over the eastern seaboard and eating ramen noodles together, and all that kind of stuff. But it's a different dynamic now. Everybody's pretty much everywhere. You can record your tracks where you are and send them to somebody who does the engineering production, and it's a done deal, right? I prefer the earlier way of doing things, but that's not. We've changed. It's a changed dynamic. So everything was digital. Scott is in Orlando, Florida. My drummer, Rory, our drummer, is in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm here in Springdale, Arkansas, working for the University of Arkansas. So, but so so we all did it digitally, and we've been doing it digitally, and I'm used to it because Fiction Six, my band before, did 3 albums, and they were all digital. We never got in a room together and put songs together. So I'm pretty used to it. It's become the dynamic.
it's become the dynamic.
Yeah.
And okay, you mentioned you're a professor. Is that correct?
Well, right now I am a managing director of a National Science Foundation Center. Our mission is to create the engineers of the future, so it's for the students. But I'm also a PhD student as well, and so lots of things going on all at once. So.
Congratulations, Marcus. Let me tell you one thing. You can never learn enough. Never learn enough.
Yeah.
Every day. to this day, I'm still learning. I'm still learning, and I will continue to learn. And I think uh, if in life we try to just every day learn at least 5 new things, 5 new things. I don't care if you read something and it's something you didn't know. I don't care if you saw something, it's something you didn't know. But 5 things a day, and your mind will continue to grow and you'll be a better person, because it's the closed minded people, the ignorance that causes the ignorance, in my opinion, out in the real
Right.
world.
Right. So I have 50 things thrown at me a day, so I think I'm
Oh,
pretty used to
you're on
it.
point. You're on point. 50 is a
I'm
lot.
wide open.
Now, so I have to ask, how did you start your music career when it first started? When was that for you?
Well, so I'll bring it back to when I was a tenor sax player, marching in concert band for the Long Beach Middle School and High School band.
Okay.
And I got a scholarship to college playing the tenor, but I started late on the guitar. I saw somebody playing guitar. I got into Randy Rhoads and Yngwie Malmsteen and all these guitar players, and
Mhm.
Gary Moore. And I decided to pick up a guitar when I was 17. And so I was a late bloomer, but I found I was really natural at it. Not even, I think a year after that, I was already heading, several years after that, I was heading to New Jersey to take on a music career. So
Okay.
that's, yeah, so I left Mississippi where I was at the time. I'm originally from New Jersey. And I
Okay.
went back to New Jersey to start my music career. So I started then, it was on guitar. I didn't know I could sing yet. So that's a whole other story. But I ended up finding out that I could sing when I was playing with a band in Florida with the singer who was with the Black Sabbath bass player
Nice.
for a period of time, and started a group. And we were actually being looked at by Sony International and Atlantic Records and a bunch of others. It was around 94, 92 to 95 is when we were a band together. But anyway, vocal coach saw me singing backgrounds with the singer live, and he was instructor for a couple of the Backstreet Boys, Janie Lean from Warrant, a bunch of other people. He said, "What are you doing singing behind a lead singer? You got a great voice." I was like, "You've been listening to me singing backgrounds, and you've out of that you picked out that I've got potential." And he said, "Yeah, come see me." He gave me a card, and I started taking vocal lessons from him, and that's how I figured out I could actually step up and sing.
That's
So
pretty awesome. And you're so humble about it. You're nonchalant. It just kind of came to me. It just kind of fell on my lap.
well, yeah, I have to say my wife, my now wife, she was my girlfriend at the time, paid for my vocal lessons, so I have to give her kudos for at least giving me a shot at it. So Lisa was a trooper and supported me through my music ventures and all my craziness of being an artist. So
A big hello to Lisa. And that's right. And thanks to you, us women, we know something, a little something. So I noticed you're a lot in Florida. I'll tell you a little secret. I am from Florida too. I'm from the beach side, from Cocoa Beach, that area.
I played near there. I also did a lot of work with NASA over near that area too. So
Yes, Kennedy Space Center. Yes.
yeah.
So that's pretty awesome that you're always out there. I'd love to see your band, especially with him being in Orlando. I can always drop in and see y'all. So please keep me posted on when you guys will be in that area again. Because there's nothing I love more than to watch a live band. There's nothing like it. I don't think there's
Nope.
nothing like it.
No.
Like it, is live, whatever goes on. And even though you have tracks, a lot of times they, I don't know. Do you guys use tracks, or are you guys just full live all the
Well,
way?
so it's been a while since I played live, but I never used tracks. Everything was always background vocals from the bandmates. Now, even if the bandmate couldn't sing as well as the singer or whatever. I've always been blessed to at least have them that have pitch. So pitch is important.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
agree. Now, let me congratulate you and the group for the possible Grammy nominations. What are the two categories that you're up in consideration in? And how's the group's excitement levels being maintained with all this, Grammy? It's really got to be exciting for all of y'all.
So there's a lot going on right now with the group, which is great. The So in the process, so if others don't know, because a lot of times they don't really know the process, they only see what happens on TV and on the internet and stuff. So what's going on is we have a couple tracks that are submitted, which for what's called the FYC first round, which is for your consideration, and the voting members get a chance to vote on the different categories and the different groups based on those categories. Happens for a couple weeks in October. And then what happens is that after that's done, all the votes are tallied, and then per each one of those, you find out if you're nominated. So it's an exciting time whenever all this is going on. There's lots of it going on in the field, and it's going out there, and everybody's trying to help to get people to be noticed during that time. So we have one track, which is our single Firefly. That's an original, and that one is in for Best Rock Song. And the other one is that cover I was talking about, which is Paradise by the Dashboard Light, which is in for Best Rock Performance. Because it's a cover, it can't be rock song because it's not original, but you can put it in for performance, and that's what it's in for.
So, and how's the group taking it?
Well, the group is so it's kind of like in the early part of the year it's when you get older, it's the old don't count your chickens until they're hatched, right? So so earlier on we won one award, which was it was Firefly. It was Best Rock Song for I think it was like fall of 2023.
Awesome.
And we got the trophy, all that kind of stuff. And I sent them their trophy. And so that was kind of cool. I got to put the trophy on the shelf. I think a lot of times with these things, you get excited just about your music in general, and hoping that other people see it and they get excited about it. And hopefully they get excited enough to where the voting members actually vote for it and we get nominated. So.
Absolutely. Actually speaking yesterday with Marlene, hello, Marlene. Shout out
Hello,
to
Marlene.
I love Marlene. She's an amazing, amazing woman.
She's awesome.
Yes, she really is. She was just telling me that it's kind of a tedious process when the consideration goes, and then this and that, the steps, and kind of one thing is, let's just always hope that everybody, and that doesn't always happen in the entertainment industry, as we know, right? That
Right.
they just sing and they actually listen to the talent, not go by the name or the popularity or so forth, so on. And I think that makes the difference. But hey, the fact that you could say, I've been considered, I was chosen for nomination, hopefully next month, that's something nice to have under all of your belts. And
yeah, even a nomination would be awesome. We all want to win, right? Because I mean that's the whole part of the game. But last year, like for instance, we were up against Ozzy Osbourne and Megadeth and Muse and all these names that are these big names from Ghost. And I was like, oh my gosh, man! I hope they actually listen to our track because there's some serious names there. So, so it was a lot of fun last year, needless to say. But
you know what? It's got to be a great feeling to actually even have that, and say, we did that, and hopefully we'll see. And like I said, again, congratulations, and I'm rooting for y'all. I'm hoping and I'm rooting, and we got this. We got this for sure. We got this for sure. Now, I hear that you guys have a song on an upcoming soundtrack for a martial arts movie. I told you I did some research.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The star is actually a 5-year technique and weapons champion, female like world champion. She was the so there was people might remember Mortal Kombat, which is the video game.
Mhm.
Well, Sophia on Mortal Kombat was modeled after her.
Okay.
So it's starring Cynthia Rothrock. It's a martial arts movie in a Western setting. So it's going to be recorded at the same time, place that Tombstone and a couple other places were recorded in Arizona. And I
Okay.
think they're actually starting filming this month, October. They're starting filming. So, but our song was accepted along with another song from a friend of mine. So there was Mark Shearer and Jim Petterick, who's the guy who did Eye of the Tiger from
Uh-huh.
Survivor, you know, the
Uh-huh.
famous Rocky tune. So
I
they
still
have a
wear
song. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They have their song in there, and ours is redid a rendition of White Rabbit. We wanted to do it a little different because a number of other people have covered that song from Jefferson Airplane.
okay.
So we did it a bit different, and we said, well, what if Scott and I were talking? We said, well, what if we like throw in some Alice in Chains and throw in a little Radiohead and
That made
just
me
make it a little different, keep the original
scared.
premise, but then
Yeah.
change it up, and that's what we did, and it turned out great. I was really pleased with it. So, but
No.
yeah, it's going to be in the movie, and so I'm looking forward to that. Sure. Yeah.
So I'll tell you a little secret. While I was doing research, right, my husband's like, "Wow, you know who she is?" And oh, this is so awesome! Like, and I was like, "Okay," and I said, "He's in the martial arts and all that good stuff," and he's like, "Oh, I can't wait to watch this interview. I want to know all about it. I'm gonna find this trailer."
Yeah. So what's really cool is it's going to have Don the Dragon Wilson in it. It's going to have Kevin Sorbo, who played Hercules. And it has a number of other stars in there as well, including some more other martial arts stars. So it's going to be really cool. He can go check it out at blackcreekmovie.com if he wants to check out more about it. So
Oh, babe, now you heard where to watch it. I'm sure he's
yeah.
gonna watch it.
That's awesome.
For sure. Hey, it was like, I don't care. Every other question is awesome, but that one, please don't forget that one, baby. Don't forget that one.
That's great.
So, has your family been overall? You mentioned your wife, now wife, been overall very supportive with your career all along, or and you can start as far back as you'd like, or as close up as you'd like. Has it been hard for you? Because with the entertainment, I know this, right? With the entertainment industry, you can be traveling here or doing this, doing that, and it really takes a toll on your relationship, right? If
Sure.
you're not able to separate and be like, okay, this is business, this is home.
Sure.
I've been pretty fortunate, but how has that been for you? And if I'm getting a little
Yeah.
too personal, let me know.
Oh, you kidding? I'm writing a book, and there's plenty of personal in there, so I'm not too worried about it. So. Um, Matter of fact, Marlene has read the book so far, so she can tell you about it. But so the thing is that I left home when I was like 17, so pretty much been out on the road doing it, So I don't know. My family's been really supportive. My wife definitely has been supportive. She was there. I toured quite a bit when I was in Florida with Persian Risk at the time, and she stayed home and kept up the fort and was working. And so kudos to the fact that she supported me through that. So, and my children, My children are all very creative themselves. My daughter Madison is an amazing artist, and my other daughter just finished uh, her degree in biochemistry from University of South Florida, and she took after me, played saxophone. She was a drum major. She's so they're all talented. My son is I call him the Xbox warrior. He's Kendall is still at home with us, so he's doing great, and so no, the family's always been supportive. So I can't really complain about that part of it.
You know, it's kind of interesting. My oldest, she does anime, so she does voiceovers, and
Right.
kind of interesting that normally when you do things in the entertainment industry, your children kind of have those gifts as well in different ways, and it's just kind of interesting to watch. So I agree when you say that yeah, they just do. Even my son, he's autistic, and I'll tell you, he's the best singer in the world. Every time somebody hears him sing, he'll start singing Feliz Navidad. I can't sing.
Hmm.
I'm not
Yeah.
talented. I'm not the one that has to sing. He starts singing it. Yeah, he gets the party started. I'm like, well, and they're like, why don't you put him? He can make an album. And I'm like, maybe one day, I don't know. I was waiting till he was 18. He just turned 18, and I'll leave that up to him if that's something that he wants to do. But it's amazing to see how our children, and shout out to the University of South Florida, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Um, he That's an amazing school. I have a lot of friends that their children went to that same school and have all kinds of degrees. So really good university for her to good choice. We'll say it
Sure.
that
Sure.
good
Sure.
choice. May I ask what part of Florida were you in? Because I love Florida.
So in the 90s, when I was with Persian Risk, Lisa and I were in Orlando. The last time that we were there, and I had a position actually with a company there that I don't know if you're familiar with the vaping company like the Halo and the Evo liquids and stuff.
Mhm.
I was their director of R&D for a period of time, and I was in the Tampa area. So, but ended up coming to Arkansas about almost 5 years ago. Ended up in intellectual property here first, and then now we're where I am in this position. So,
Made it home, huh? Made it
well,
home.
I've been all over the place. Typical Gemini. I was born on 6666. I'm a Gemini, and it's just kind of I'm just all over the place. So.
But that's good. That's good. And I hear that that is a very, very nice state to
It
live in.
is. It's very nice here. Yeah, the Northwest Arkansas is beautiful. You got changes of season. It's not too overbearing, and the traffic isn't as crazy as like when you're in LA or in on I-4, or I mean, it's nice not to have all that traffic. So.
So traveling for me from my four, so I'll give you guys like a little example. Say I'm coming from Tampa and I'm going all the way down to the East Coast to Cocoa,
Mhm.
Melbourne, that area. It takes me about 3.5, 4 hours. That's how
Yeah,
bad it is.
yeah.
And it shouldn't be that long. A couple of years back, it would have taken me half that time to get there.
And you get passed up by a four-cylinder Eclipse thinking that they're driving an eight-cylinder hot rod.
Yeah. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, Anna, why is it that in Florida everybody drives fast? And I said, because you just have to wait till the snowbirds get there. Then everybody gets pissed off. They walk all
Right.
the way
That's right.
back.
I remember it well.
So, what's next for Kick the Wicked? And what can the viewers look forward to in the near future?
So right now we have in the box in the window right now is we have our FYC period. We're trying to get through to get a nomination. If we get nominated, then we're gonna have to focus on December because that's when they do the voting for who wins, right? And we also have this song White Rabbit for this movie that's coming out October 1st, which will be on all the digital platforms. They can preview it though. It's on YouTube right now where they can actually listen to it. under the Kick the Wicked channel. But the actual track will be out October 1st, and they can actually pre-save that on Spotify because that's done through DistroKid, I think. So we're going to be focusing on that. And, you know, we also do some feature stuff here and there also as musicians. Rory plays on a lot of stuff. Scott works with a lot of musicians from all over the world. And I just sang on a track for a mutual friend. His name is Jason Ogle. And he's doing a project with a bunch of different people, and it's called Echo Discipline. And we just did a heavy metal version of Eleanor Rigby from the Beatles. And it's on YouTube now. They can find that as well. It just says featuring Mark Lanoue, Kick the Wicked. So there's lots of stuff really going on. I'd love to do more material, but you kind of have to focus first on, we just released Paradise by the Dashboard Light. We're about to release White Rabbit. We're going through this whole thing. But they can go to kickthewicked.com and they can check out what we're doing there. We're all over the digital platforms. And I just did an interview with Good Day NWA on television, talking about some of this stuff as well. So there's lots going on, and I look forward to, you know, doing a lot more. But right now we kind of have to focus on trying to get the win, right? So.
That's right. That's right. I have to ask now, to reach you guys for bookings or anything that you guys want. Before I ask this, you said you're writing a book. How far
Right.
into your book are you?
The book's essentially finished. We're putting like pictures and waiting for what others have to say about it. And I have the few selected I trust, like, Marlene, who's, you got to have a couple people, kind of read through it and say, hey, this is good, or, not so much, or maybe if there was more of that,
Yeah.
But I'm really pleased with how it turned out. It's really kind of spanning my whole life. My life has been an interesting ride, needless to say.
Well,
So,
when you were born, 66. So I could just imagine, like, all of it, the good and the bad, because it's what we make of it. It's what we make of ourselves and what we make of our lives that determines who we really are. And I just see amazing things still going on for you. I just completely see it. You have a light. You really do. So I look forward. Well, first I want to ask, how is it that they can reach out to your band, to you, however, they would like to book anything, and then
they can reach out to us at kickthewicked@gmail.com, and we get all the emails through there. As far as bookings, it really comes down to what the booking is, and what the availability is of my other bandmates. As you get up to this part of your life journey, you have like 5 or 6 things going at one time. You kind of have to figure out where you're sticking something on a calendar. But I would love to play live again. I miss it immensely. I haven't played in a little while, but I'm a ham for the crowd. The last gig I did was like 50,000 people. So it's
congratulations. You're just it's nonchalant and humble about it. You're just like, the last thing I did was this. So congratulations. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you. I was actually in Pryor, Oklahoma. It was a festival. They call it Rocklahoma. But yeah, and so it's great. But that particular year is a funny story. Well, it's not so funny, but now that looking back, it's kind of funny now. We played, and we stayed that night to watch. We saw Extreme, and we saw Queensryche. We saw my old friends from New Jersey, Trickster, got together and played. Triumph reunited to do a set. So it was really, really cool. Extreme played that night too, and Nuno Betancourt was bad to the bone. But anyway, so we left that evening because we had to get back home to take care of some stuff. And not even the next day, I felt so bad for all of the other artists. A storm came through and just blew down the stage we were on. And they were troopers though, like Ron Keel and a bunch of the other artists went and they put up a tent on the side and they still went on. They still did
Oh,
their
I love it.
shows. It was awesome. So
That's what it's all about. I love
they
it. I love it.
troopers, man.
That's freaking awesome. I love it. I wish I could have been there. So, Mark, honestly, I am cheering you on here at Let's Talk with Anna. I look forward to having you back on and to get the update on the actual Grammy nomination. So if you're open to it, I'd love to bring you back. We will speak
Absolutely.
next time on Let's Talk with Anna. And again, I appreciate you so much for taking out of your busy schedule to coming on my podcast to interview. Thank you so
I
much.
enjoyed it.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.